Bonjour les élèves, dans cette vidéo, nous allons continuer à étudier l'unité 5, mais nous allons étudier un élément de grammaire, les expressions négatives. Et voici le cible d'apprentissage. Je peux exprimer des négations variées en utilisant des expressions négatives. So I can express negations of varying types by using different negative expressions. So we are going to learn how to say none, no one, nowhere, neither, nor, etc. Alors, vous allez regarder la vidéo, vous allez comprendre et vous allez remplir les notes de grammaire, les expressions négatives. Alors, voici les négations. Ne pas, ne plus, ne jamais, ne personne, ne rien, ne nulle part. And then encore, toujours, davantage. The opposites of these negative expressions are quelquefois, toujours, souvent, quelqu'un, quelque chose et quelque part. So I went through them just to see, for you to hear the pronunciation, but we will look at them in more details in the following slides. Note the following negative expressions and their use in the present and the passé composé. The affirmative will be à la gauche, and the negative will be à droite. Quelqu'un, someone or somebody, the opposite of it or the negative will be ne personne, no one or nobody, in a sentence like this. Je ne connais personne ici. Je ne connais personne. So ne personne replaces what we used to see as ne pas. Ne personne, ne pas. And the placement of these different parts of the negative expression will be exactly like those of ne pas. Je ne connais personne ici. I know no one, or I don't know anybody, no one here. Here is another example in the passé composé. Je n'ai rencontré personne. I did not meet anyone. I did not meet anybody. Voyons une autre expression. So quelque chose means something. Ne rien means nothing. Voici un exemple. Je n'ai rien à déclarer. And here is a sentence au présent. The verb is to have. I don't have anything to declare, or I have nothing to declare. In the passé composé, je n'ai rien acheté. How do we know this is the passé composé and this is the present? Here we have only avoir plus infinitive. Okay, here what do we have? We have avoir as a helper verb in the past participle. So this is a sentence au passé composé. Je n'ai rien acheté. So where do we put ne rien? Just like ne pas and ne personne. No, not personne. Just like ne pas, we put it around the helper verb. For personne, we put it after the past participle. Je n'ai rien acheté. I bought nothing, or I didn't buy anything. Quelque part means somewhere. Ne nulle part means nowhere. Ne nulle part. Ne rien. Ne personne. Let's look at an example that has ne nulle part. Je ne me promène nulle part. I am not taking a walk anywhere, or I'm walking nowhere. Here we have the reflexive verb se promener, so we put the reflexive pronoun just before the conjugated verb, and ne, nulle part surround both. Je ne suis allé nulle part. I didn't go anywhere, or I went nowhere. Voilà, regardons d'autres expressions. In the affirmative, we have quelque, which means some. In the negative, or the opposite of quelque, is ne aucun or ne aucune, no or not any. Here's an example. Je n'ai aucune idée. I have no idea. I don't have any idea. Here we have one verb in the present tense, ne aucune, goes around it. Since idée is feminine, we say aucune. I have no idea or not any idea or I don't have any idea. Je n'ai acheté aucun cadeau. Cadeau means present and it's masculine, so we say aucun. Je n'ai acheté aucun cadeau, so ne, aucun go around the whole passé composé verb est acheté. Je n'ai acheté aucun cadeau. Et ou, et means and, ou means or. The opposite of this affirmative, these two affirmative expressions are ne, ni, means neither, nor. And here is how we put them in a sentence. Je ne vais ni au ciné, ni au théâtre. So we start with ne. I'm not going. Neither plus element and neither plus element or nor plus element. So it will translate to ne, ni. Je ne vais ni au ciné ni au théâtre translates to I'm not going neither to the cinema nor to the theater. Here's another example in the passé composé. Je n'ai visité ni Paris ni Quebec. I haven't visited neither Paris nor Quebec. With the expression ne, ni, partitive and indefinite articles are usually omitted. Je n'ai ni frère ni sœur. I don't have any brothers or sister. Je n'ai ni frère ni sœur. So usually we say de or des. So here the partitive is omitted with ne, ni. In the passé composé, negative expressions come after the past participle except rien, which comes before it. Nous n'avons vu personne. So where are we placing the personne? Around the past participle of the passé composé. So around both the helper verb and the past participle. Nous n'avons vu personne. We saw no one. But nous n'avons rien vu. Ne rien surround the helper verb, which means that rien is before the past participle. Compare it to personne, which is after the past participle. So practice, say these sentences with me or after me. Nous n'avons vu personne. Nous n'avons rien vu. And personne and rien can be used as subjects. Why are we saying this? Because in the previous sentences, nous n'avons vu personne. Personne and rien are objects. We saw no one. We saw who? No one. Or we saw nothing. Okay, so nous is the subject in this case, but in these sentences, personne and rien can be used as subjects themselves, like so. And then we have to flip the order of ne personne. We start with personne, ne, and rien, ne. Personne n'a téléphoné. No one called. So personne is the subject. Rien n'est impossible. Nothing is impossible. Nothing, rien, is the subject of est. The ne is still right before the verb, notice that, but it's now after the negative expression or after personne and rien. Non merci, je ne veux rien. I don't want anything. Okay, allons plus loin. Let's go a little bit farther. Note the following constructions. Quelqu'un and quelque chose, quelqu'un, quelque chose, personne and rien, plus deux, plus masculine adjective, like so. Let's look at an example. J'ai rencontré quelqu'un d'intéressant. And quelqu'un, quelque chose, personne and rien, plus a, plus infinitive. Nous n'avons rien à déclarer. We have nothing to declare. So these expressions, plus deux, when they are followed with deux, we use a masculine adjective after them. See, intéressant is masculine adjective after deux. I met someone who's interesting. J'ai rencontré quelqu'un d'intéressant. But when we use one of these expressions with a, when it's followed with a, we use an infinitive. Nous n'avons rien à déclarer. We have nothing to declare. Now, ne que, let's look at the expression ne que. L'expression ne que is not a negative expression. It is a limiting expression that means only. Its equivalent is seulement, only. Note its use in the following sentences. Okay, let's start with the affirmative expression statement. Je parle français. I speak French. But when we say je ne parle que français, it means I speak only French. It could be replaced with je parle seulement français. Same meaning. Let's look at this one, this sentence. Je ne parle français qu'en France. I speak French only in France. Now, if we use it in a sentence like this, je ne parle français en France qu'avec mes amis. I speak French in France only with my friends. So whatever is after que element, the que element of ne que, is the restricted element. Read them again and make sure you understand. Review, replay what I said if you need to. And remember, if it still doesn't make sense, you can ask me questions en classe. Maintenant, note the word order with ne, que. Ne comes before the verb. Que comes before the word or phrase to which the restriction applies. So this is what I was telling you about in the previous slide. Since ne que is not a negative expression, the indefinite and partitive articles do not change after the verb. Je mange des légumes. Here's an example to explain what the statement means. Je mange des légumes. If we're saying, I don't eat any vegetables, we say, je ne mange pas de légumes. Des, in that case, would change to de. But here, since we have ne que and it's a restrictive expression, we don't have to change the de to de. We keep it as is. This is the idea here. Je ne mange que des légumes. When definite and partitive articles de la, du, and des would be used, they change to de, as I told you in the example. Je ne mange pas de légumes. After negative expressions, like this. Tex n'écoute jamais de music country. He never listens to any music country, right? Because here we have a ne jamais, which is a negation. Mais attention, ne que is not a true negative expression. It means only. So the definite and partitive articles do not change. They stay de. Here are, this is the final slide for cette leçon, position du négatif au passé composé. So here I made a chart for you. Before the past participle, how does it look like? Après, here are the expressions that are placed before the past participles. Here are the expressions that are in the passé composé placed after the past participle, talking about the second element of the negation, of course. Position du négatif au futur proche. Now, when we have expressions of negation in the near future, which means we have verb 1 and verb 2, we place them before the infinitive, and here are the ones that are placed after the infinitive. And I have another document with more details to share with you in a future activity related to this, where we can practice all of this. D'accord. Here is when we can come to the end of our video. Merci beaucoup. Review the video as many times as you need to understand everything, and be prepared to do some activities avec moi en classe. Au revoir.